Hello everyone and welcome all to this course designed for exploring basics of C programming. In this course we will cover all about C programming language like installing text editor, using C compiler, how to write basic codes and many more things related to C. Basically there is a startup phase in every C programmer's life. In this phase he is a learner trying to understand the language elements and their use. At this stage, he wants a simple learning environment that helps him to learn or master the language. So before we dive into C programming, we need to learn a couple of things related to C. So let's start. Getting started with C. C is an example of programming language. We as a human being needs to communicate with computers, but computer understand the machine code or the language that is a code stream like 10011001 and so on. Now, if we need to communicate to the computer using this code, then it's really complicated and error prone for human. Therefore, smart people created the programming language and we as a human learn programming language which is readable for human as well as understandable. So basically, we learn programming language and this is converted further into machine code that is understandable by the computer. Operating systems like Mac OS, Linux, Windows, Android, applications like Mozilla Firefox, Office, Chrome, Adobe, and games. These all are developed using some programming language. And C is one of the popular programming language that is used till now. Even this programming language is a base for other programming language as well. Now the instruction written in a file are known as source code. There is a compiler that compiles and convert this source code into machine code so that an output can be given in the form of executable program. Now executable program is a set of instructions that computer can understand. Other names for a program can be software or application. So all of this is fundamental of software or application development. All of these stuffs come under the subject called computer science. So basically computer science is dealing with all this coding stuff. Now let's discuss the things that are required to set up the environment for getting started with C programming. The very first thing that we need is operating system. So basically OS is divided into two types. One is Windows based, another one is Linux or Unix based. Now for Windows based operating system, we need to install a software that incorporates both the text editor as well as C compiler. CodeBlocks is one such fantastic application that can be used for developing a C program. And by compiling, you can execute the code at the same time. So this is the link from where you can download this application. For Unix or Linux based operating systems such as Ubuntu and Mac, both incorporates a well-known C compiler called GCC. This compiler is already installed in these operating systems, but if it is not there, you can install by simply writing the command as shown below. Sudo apt update, you can update the package, then sudo apt install build essential, sudo apt get install manages dev, and after this you can verify by writing GCC version. This will return you the latest version of GCC installed on your system. So the two important thing after the OS that is required for C programming is compiler. So as I already discussed, for Windows based we are using a code block and it contains MinGW, which stands for minimal GNU for Windows. Now GCC is a collection of GNU software. So CodeBlocks has GCC compiler, and for Unix and Linux based system, the GCC compiler is installed as essential package to manage development related to C. Next thing is text editor. Now for Windows, we can use Notepad, Notepad++ editor, but we will not require this editor because CodeBlocks has inbuilt text editor. For Unix and Linux based system, popular text editor are Vim or VI. Write our source code into it. Now for Windows, in order to download CodeBlocks, go to browser window and write CodeBlocks and hit enter. The very first section you will get CodeBlocks and just click on this. This is the platform for CodeBlocks. Click on this download section and you will be redirected to the download page. Click on this link, download the binary release. So here are the CodeBlock setup file. You can also find for Linux as well as Mac OS. If you don't want to use Vim or other editors in Linux or Mac, you can use CodeBlocks in these OS also. So these are the setups for Linux based operating system and this is for Mac operating system. So just click on this CodeBlock 20.03 with MinGW setup. Click on the link to download and your downloading will be started. Once downloaded, just run the setup file, click on next, agree for the license agreement, click next and click on install. It will take some time to install, and once installed you can just click on finish. So we are ready to go with the programming. In the next session, we'll be writing the very first C code and compile and see the fascinating output of the code. That's all for this session.